for almost no work. Again, going through a custody situation, which I won't get into details, but I was so outraged by the bill, I brought it to their attention and realized it wasn't even open for discussion. After getting no work, I was hit with this bill and I'm thinking, okay, they know I have a law degree, they know I'm a lawyer. What are they doing to their clients who don't know better? What type of bill are they getting? So I fired went through two different ones, thinking maybe it was just one, then realized that this is the accepted standard of the industry. And I had a particularly high conflict situation where my ex had gotten a lawyer who was going to be litigating by scorched earth. So I quickly made a decision that I would handle this myself. And it was a toll, it was time commitment, no doubt. But good result. I have a great relationship with my son. I have a great relationship. No. Let me not overstate it. Dramatic fact. I have a good relationship with his mother. We actually spent some holiday meals together, so it really is a happy ending. I have a very things worked out. But what I went through, I can't talk about without having applause for a real long time. But you feel like you look into a pit of a depth of, you see the fires of hell. And doing this work, being an advocate, I meet other parents who don't have contact with their children, and they have this dead stare, or I'm talking about my experience and how things worked out, tears streaming down my face, and then they'll react. Yeah, I don't have any more emotion. I admire that you can feel as you discuss this, but I haven't felt the real since I last saw my kids, and you get that response from them. So my way of giving thanks and giving back is I took 9 months out of work and I produced an educational program. I reproduced my law school training that I had from curriculum, from each course. And after spending years and years of researching and finding actually how much free legal education is actually online, I put together a curriculum for high conflict parents, particularly dads, because there's more resources available for women. I won't go into detail because it's really meant for either gender. So I put together a curriculum indexing and teaching people how to use what's online to teach you what I knew and what I learned. Because actually I only had one class of family law, one class, which really is maybe 12 hours of education. And we get these high bills in high conflict cases, but it's not rocket science. It's not brain surgery. It's common sense and basic, which makes me very ashamed of my legal profession on how they bill and for what they're billing for. So I put together a program called the Family Court Custody Boot Camp online, and I had trained myself how to do videography, editing, and using technology because I was involved in politics. And again, media can be very expensive, but now with a camera and cell phone, you can just take it out and record yourself. So all this, I believe there's this information that can help fathers, I know, right in plain view, online for free. And it's really 10 hours of me going through and summarizing hours and hours of content that's online for free. And this was even before I finished this program, before AI was done, so now it's even easier. So I really have spent the mostly past year, but even longer, I was on self-represented, I was on self-help desks in Philadelphia County, and of course, what they do is they make people wait outside, come in, and start face to face. But my gosh, the amount of information, especially we know this after COVID, that we can share just through an online pre-recorded program and letting other people know what resources. And folks, I do, especially Philadelphians, I do recognize the literacy problem that we have here and the problems with technology. So there still is work to be done. But, and I actually think there's a lesson to be learned in the mental health community too, because that's another one-on-one kind of inefficient business model. But pre-recording stuff and putting online where you can just do Q&A with people who need that help. Law only meets 20% of need in legal aid. Now, this is people who qualify for free legal aid. But what if you make 200% of the poverty level, which is $30,000 a year? You don't get it. So you get the privilege of spending, coming up with a $25,000 retainer for a high conflict custody case. So what I am trying to do, part of this movement or with the campaign, is trying to convince my profession, legislator, to help laws for what's called limited scope. Lawyers, so lawyers don't say, look, the judge is going to keep me in court, so I got to take the full 25 grand because I got to stay to the end, but to enable people to negotiate with their lawyer and say, look, I just took this training course. I just need you to show up and speak with me because I get tongue-tied and I'm not eloquent, so that lawyer will take $1,000 because the judge will let him him or her out of the case. So that's not what we have right now. Right now we have selfish judges who say, oh, a lawyer, my job is easier. You're not out of here until this is over. And so someone like me who wants to help and say, okay, let me give you something affordable, we want that ability to contract. But right now, as the system is that a judge can keep you in. Because when you say you represent someone, you apparently, in family court, represent them until the children are 18. So that's the danger, or at least at the end of the petition, but a petition can be $50,000, $100,000. And again, the arrogance of my profession makes you think, well, you can't do anything in court, you need us lawyers. But you know what the legal standard is? The best interest of the child, which means the judge is going to do whatever the judge wants to do. And what are the factors? 16 factors, which are basically common sense, and the judge doesn't even have to issue a very detailed opinion, or it's kind of a gray area or not strictly enforced, because there's no appellate system. Who can afford an appeal, let alone a lawyer? You have some with just millionaires who are litigating over 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock on some type of exchange or battle over pride. But what does that leave the regular person? So to sum up, the solution to me is teaching people what the lawyers know through video that you put up on an online platform, and you can have a Google Translate in even different languages, which then gives better opportunity for helping diverse cultures and communities and whatnot. So I think it can be tweaked. I think it can be modified for different communities. It can be added to, but I have a basic core curriculum called the Family Court Custody Boot Camp. I put it online, and I think it's the future. This would not have been possible not long ago. I did the research about 40 years ago. To be able to do what I did, to pre-record this, you'd have to rent a studio. It'd be $50,000 to put this in. The lawyers could solve this problem. It would be very easy to solve this problem, but they don't, because of the divorce corp, a $1 trillion industry, and they don't want rich people to know that they don't need them either. That this is not common sense, they can figure it out themselves. So the profession and the industry is so reluctant to change that you know, it's the solution. It's right in plain view for all of us. Isn't changing because they don't want it changed. But this is the type of group or people involved with self-help desks and legal aid. This is how it would happen. I don't have a family law practice, but I can represent people much better than any of these lawyers who want 50 to 100 grand because of the conflict that they perpetuate, because that's good business practices if you don't have ethics to facilitate litigation. But once you've been through it, once you become a client, you recognize the blood that gets spilled with good business. So, Rufus, thank you very much for this opportunity. I hope I didn't go too long.